Right, now I've kind of given you an upside down view. This is the top of the case, this is the bottom of the case. It might be a bit weird. Power supply here at the bottom. Okay, so if I just one sec. Okay, I've focused on here. You should be able to see everything. If I just zoom in a bit, should be able to see pretty much everything I'm doing. Now I've got the case lying flat down, and I'm going to quickly get a screwdriver. Be one sec. Right, got one. And I'm going to take off with pleasure this AMD stock cooler. Now it's handy for AMD, even though there is a massive cutout at the back of this case for, wow, it's hot, for the, let's just take all the screws out first, for the installation of CPU coolers without taking the motherboard out. There's quite a big hole there for like mainly Intel platforms, but as Noctua do say, their AMD platform backplate is compatible with all their coolers, and you don't need to change the backplate, which is why there is no backplate included. If I take out this plug for the fan, God, it's very stiff. Wow. That doesn't want to come out. Oh, one sec. It's out, hallelujah. Okay. Okay, let's put that over there. Okay, so if I take out these screws, one of which cannot be accessed, okay, take out all these screws. I might fast forward this, depending on how boring it may be to watch. Never mind, I got it. Okay, so I was supposed to take this off first. Now this is the, where is it? There's the camera. This is the heatsink. It's small, it's dusty, and I want to get rid of it because it's crap. Let's face it. It's noisy and annoying. Now, that does seem to be my, still hot? No, it's not hot. This does seem to be my CPU, which has been battered by that cooler. So let us take this plate plastic thing off, and there's another screw. So sleeves up, it's time for some business. Okay, that was the back plate, damn it. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to take the other side off after all. Now, that's out of the way. What I'm going to do is quickly dust around here with a bit of a hoover. Or if I can be bothered, I might just clean it up with my fingers. There's quite a lot of dust there. I'm also going to clean the CPU with some lint-free cloth, or just glasses cleaner. Not the chemical glasses cleaner, the pad which you get in most glasses. And I'm going to then put this cooler on. So I'm just going to go get the isopropyl alcohol, which I'm going to use to clean it. Right, now here I've got some isopropyl alcohol, pretty old bottle. I've got some Specsavers, 2 Specsavers glasses cleaners things, and I'm going to wipe that clean. One of them I'm going to get wet with the alcohol, and the other one I'm going to use to dry it. So let us damp the cloth. It's better to use a higher concentration of alcohol rather than a lower one, because it's a bit more abrasive and it's easier to get the gunk off. Okay, so if I've cleaned that completely of this thermal paste on the side as well, Okay. Bit of thermal paste stuck down the edge. God, this doesn't want to come out, does it? There we go. Gotcha. Okay, so that's that. And now I'm going to dry it with the other one, which is dry. Make sure you clean any old thermal paste off, because the new thermal paste will not work properly if it's not. So now this is the reason why lint-free is basically a cloth which doesn't give off any fluff. And fluff in a computer is bad because, you know, get stuck in the fans and cause everything to explode. Now let us put the lid back on here and let us get out the NH-D14 common parts. Now AMD and common parts. Okay, I've got them here. Let's put that right here. So in the AMD set, I'm going to open it. We have got, let's just put it down right here. If you don't need to see the installation, I'll put an annotation to skip to the next part of the video where I'm actually going to be installing the cooler. Not installing the cooler, testing the cooler. Okay, so, right, where is it? There it is. Okay, let's take this, make sure you take this plastic thing off, because if you don't, zoom out a bit. If you don't take this plastic off, that could cause some serious problems, especially if it melts all over that area. Now, that is a very, 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 very clean backplate, not backplate, contact, which I'm going to leave over there for a moment. Now, if you did hear earlier, I dropped the backplate through, so now I have to pause the video, turn the computer over, and get the backplate back. Just going to quickly put the video back on. I don't know if you can see, but this is what the AMD backplate is. It came out of there. I'm going to just go put it back in. Right, now I've managed to put the backplate back, and I've secured the two mounting things, and now I'm on step of putting the thermal paste on. Now it says to do a small blob, 4 to 5 millimeters diameter, into the centre of the heat spreader. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Open this up, take out the thermal compound, and put a blob of it into the middle. One sec. Oh, I'm an idiot. There's a cap on it, I think. There's a cap on it. That looks like 4 millimeters. Let me just get a ruler. I'll just put a tad more on. There we go. Now I'm going to put that lid back on, which blatantly was supposed to be used by competent people who knew what they were doing. Right, that's it. Didn't need much at all. There's plenty in there still, I believe. I'm going to, you know what, it doesn't look big enough. It really doesn't. Okay, that looks like enough. Now, let us go to the next step. Put the cooler on. Okay, so for this part, you have to take the fans off. Here's the cooler. We have to take these fans off, which come off easily with these little things. So it just pulls off and comes out. Now I'm going to do it somewhere else so it doesn't fall into the computer. Oh, right, there we go. Okay, and let's take this cable out. Okay, so that's one of the fans there. I know this may be boring for some of you. And let's take off the other one. The diagram, it does say to take off both fans. Now they do come with sticky pads, if you can see those white ones here. Yeah, they're anti-vibration pads, and they stop any vibrations, as their name suggests. Let's take this one off. Okay, so now we've got both fans out. That's the other fan, that's the 120 fan. Let's just get the heatsink in. Okay, so which way do I do it? I do it with the gap being that way, so like that. Okay, that makes sense. The screws all line up. Now, these are spring-loaded screws, so I have to push quite hard down, which is what this very long screwdriver is for. Right, now I've just done that. I pushed both screws down very, very firmly and pushed and twisted so that they caught. That's the hard part. I mean, this installation is pretty idiot-proof, I guess. But you do need to push very, very hard down and make sure it doesn't slip. And then it will screw into the bottom. I don't know if you can, well, you definitely won't be able to see, but it does screw in, and then it gets, I don't think it will ever tighten, considering these are sprung screws, so it will just, oh no, they are tightening. You want that quite tight because logically, if there's more pressure on the bottom where the CPU is, then that paste gets squashed out more, and therefore the thermal conductivity is greater. So let us continue doing that. Right, as you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see right here, but my my RAM are very, 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 very low profile. They actually go lower than the white clips. So yes, they're very, very small, so this will definitely have no problems with that. Now this is pretty solid. It's very solid actually. Let's go to part 5, attaching the fans. So now we have to put the fans back on, because otherwise it's quite simply just a heatsink. Now obviously it probably would thrash the other one, but you know, fans are necessary. Considering these are Noctua fans, I have high expectations for the sound and everything else. Now it says to put the middle one in first. It goes this, one sec, where's the, okay. There are arrows on here, it tells you which way the direction is and which way it spins. Direction is to the, that way. Okay, so if I just push that in there, that one went on easy enough. This one's a bit trickier because it's around the back. Okay, that went on. Actually very easy, you just need to get your angle with your hand correct. And now this is the fan wire. I only have one PWM over, where is it? Oh crap, it's all the way over there. Okay, so as a note, you should probably check where your PWM fan socket is and plug it in before you put a huge heatsink on it. Okay, once again I forgot to turn on the plug for the camcorder, and now it has run out of battery. So yeah, I just put the, you won't be able to see, but the Y splitter in. So now I can easily tuck this wire around the back and plug it into the splitter. Very easily. Right, now that goes in, that can stuff around the back, out of any airflow way. Okay, so now I'll put this fan on, which is simply the same thing as the other fan. Check the direction, always check the direction. It's going that way, so we put it in that way. Probably wise to plug this one in first. Wire is relatively long, so you've got a bit of leeway. And this can go on like that. Roughly in the middle. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I was right. The vibration pads are correctly placed, and it just hangs a tad over the bottom, so maybe a tiny bit higher. You know what, it really doesn't make that much of a difference. I'm just going to put it on and leave it and stop mucking around. Okay, done. Okay, just make sure it's straight, and that's all you have to do. Now, oh, have I jogged the camera and you have been able to see nothing? That's what's happened. Okay, so now that's all done, It's completely in. To be quite honest with you, it wasn't as big as I thought it was going to be. I know it's huge, it's like the size of my hand, but it really is quite, it fits comfortably, I'd say. I wouldn't call it enormous. Well, I guess it is compared to the other fans. But now is the moment of truth. We're going to power this baby up and see what temperatures and noises we get. So I'll be back. Right, taking this cooler out is as simple as putting it in, if not simpler, because you don't have to put pressure on the spring screws. What you have to do is take the fans off, as I've done, unscrew this spring. I'm actually going to take a picture. If you can actually see, I'm actually just going to move the camera. Let's just take you off of this tripod. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy at the moment. There we go. Right, here is the, let's zoom out. We've got the cooler here in the case. I'm going to put the camera, well, I guess it's going to have to go here. And there you can see, that's pretty good. You can see the clearance of the RAM. Just below here is the RAM. It's like there you go. This clears it by miles because this RAM is tiny. That's how it does there. If we look at it from the top without the fans on, we can see directly down into that nickel plated copper base. Here we can, it's all very shiny silver, so it's pretty good. I'm bearing in mind you can always replace the fans if you don't like the colours, although personally I quite like them. I don't think they stick out too much. I would prefer these to neon green and pink. So I don't know if you can see through there, but that's, yeah, you can. That's the same on this side. It's got 6 heat pipes, as we saw on the box, and it clears the graphics card on this card by about 3 fingers. 3 average size fingers. So that's that NH-D14, the massive NH-D14. It's not that high in this case, in this specific case, because if I give you a little look, you can see that as about 3 fingers. I know the angle's a bit awkward, but 3 fingers once again. So the distance between the graphics card and the distance between this and the top of the case is about 3 fingers, which is what, 2 inches, 2.5 inches maybe. So maybe 3 inches even. That's that. I'm going to install the U14S now and guide you through that very quickly. So where I was before, I'm going to undo these spring-loaded screws to get this beast of a cooler out. Myself, should have been watching. I'm not a big fan of water cooling. Just don't like the idea of having liquid inside a computer, however safe they may be. I prefer air, and you need fans in a water cooling thing anyhow. So if you can see, that thermal paste is spread pretty evenly over that bottom of there, and pretty evenly over there. So I am not upset about that at all. I'm going to put the U14S in now. Let's leave the D14 here. And now for the U14S, which is this. Fan's a bit more stylish with rounded edges, and the heatsink is got a beveled design. I'm just going to go clean off that, clean off this with the Specsavers cloth, and then put the other one in. So I'll be right back. Just one other quick thing, you've got to bear in mind that you cannot use the same brackets for both fans because it's significantly different. This is a completely different design to this. I assume these go that way rather than that way because they're huge. So I assume you still would be able to mount the fan blowing this way. I hope so because that's where the exhaust is. So yeah, I'm just going to clean this up, take it off and unscrew all these, even though I believe the washers are the same height. I'm not sure and I don't want to muck it up, so I'm going to take them all out. Okay, so to prevent the back plate from falling out once again, I've left one of the screws in. I'll tighten it up so it brings the back plate up quite high. And I'm going to install the new cooler. Right, so well, as I guessed, these do go like that, not like that, like that. The screw pointing upwards. So let's start. Right, let's move that. There we go. Okay, so let's take these screws out. Put them in there. Okay, so this one goes in here, then goes like this into the board. Okay, that's one. Okay, leave it a bit loose. And let me just get the other one in, then I can take that one out. So I could put this under here. This is a bit like Meccano, to be quite honest with you. Speaking of Meccano, the front fan in the 5.25 inch bay is actually secured in with Meccano, because if you know your computing stuff, 5.25 inch bays don't have fan mounts. They're there for disk drives and Blu-ray drives and floppy drives. So they don't have mounts, so I used a bit of right angle Meccano and some very sticky Velcro and stuck it on the front, and it's stable and it's the best placement of a Noctua fan that I've ever done. Okay, now this is the other one. That can all go back in there. Okay, right, now let's get the other one in. Make sure the screw's the right way around. That screw bit needs to be upwards. Focus it, camera, come on. Oh, never mind. Okay, so that has to be up so that the fan can screw into it. Let's get the this done. So yeah, this time they need to be facing outwards. Last time they were facing inwards, this time outwards. Different cooler, different mounting system. So let's put that on there. Screw that one in. There is no need for a splitter, unless you're going to add your own fan on this. There is no need for a splitter because it's only got one fan. It's all nice and tight. Okay, now we put the thermal paste on, which I'm going to use from the one I just opened. It's already open, so I might as well use it. Let's do the same little blow in the middle. That's that. It's very thick stuff, so it's pretty good. It must be very high thermal conductivity. Right. Now it's got, please take off the first fan as well as the protection cover. So here's the CPU cooler. The clear difference is that, does it have it over there? No. These over here aren't spaced, this one, but these are, the edges are, but the middle isn't, which is interesting. Let's take the plastic off. Do not forget to take the plastic off, because if you don't, it's dangerous. This was tucked in here, so take it out, make sure it doesn't get tangled. Take the fan off before you squash the thermal paste down, and make sure you don't touch the bottom. Okay, so let's slightly awkward on this one to take it out because it's quite close to the fins. So that's out. That went on, what side did it go on? That side. So let's put this in. Oh, it doesn't really matter, they're symmetrical, isn't it? Oh, well, let's put it in that way. Yes. No. Yes, let's do it. Okay. Where's that long screwdriver? Whoops, sorry about that, guys. Just jogged you. So once again, you have to push down really hard. Oh wow, no you didn't. Never mind. This one was completely different. Even though it's the same screws, do not have to push down. Oh right, on the second one, yes you do. Okay, got it. As long as you catch the thread, it's fine. Make sure you tighten both sides up equally. Don't tighten one all the way and then try and bend the other one back, because it will bend the metal and that is not good. You want it to go down flat. These ones actually do tighten all the way. So when it stops turning, you can stop tightening it like that. Right, that's done. I've got some nice fingerprints on there, lovely. Okay, that's done. That was very simple. And now it's just a matter of putting the fan back on. Oh, I understand what these are now. They're spacers. Those brown things marked in yellow on here are spacers. You can read it, it says remove standard spacers. Adding a second fan, you should remove the standard spacers and install the thick spacers, because these ones are thicker as they keep the distance equal all the way. Where's that fan? Here it is. Okay, now which side do I want it on? I want it on... Let's put it on this side, because that's where it was on. And the arrow is over there. Fancy arrows this time. So you can have it here this way. Okay, it's stable. That's all that matters. It's stable, okay? Good. Right. It's level, it's stable. I'm going to stop doing this because this is getting on my nerves. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's easy to do if you're not incompetent. I should have done this the other way. Am I... Oh. There's no other way to do it, is there? Oh yeah, there is. Okay, I'm taking this off again because, you know, clumsily, I've not allowed for the fact that the wire is not supposed to be used in the way I used it. So let's do that. Let's put that there. This should be a lot easier because I'm not as incompetent this time. It's level, it's good, it fits. Now I'm going to just stop speaking. This is PWM, so it uses all 4 of these pins. Now, does it come with a splitter so you can use it? Find out. Does not come with a splitter, so you need to get a splitter if you want to use 2 fans and you've only got 1 slot. Okay, enough of me talking, and let's get this stable bad boy up and running and see how see what we get with the temps. So I'm going to stop recording. Right, for those of you who want some close-ups, I'm going to do this before I turn it on. So let's put the camera in here. you can see that, where is it? It's wonky. Why is it wonky? There we go. It's wonky. Is that wonky? In real life? No, it's not. Okay. So that's the, there was quite a lot of height on here. Significantly more height. And if you want even more height and don't want it to hit the fan, even though it doesn't really, but if it's slightly thicker it will hit the fan, I guess, maybe. They are very, very... I think they've actually allowed for that. So I think RAM can be put in those black slots over there and it won't touch the fan, but if it does you can always mount the fan on the other side. So yeah, the fan is blowing that way, out the back of the case. That's what it looks like in the case, smaller than that one, and yeah, it's just a bit snugger. So Noctua have listened to you guys and they have adjusted the D14 to make this, which allows for RAM and allows for, and it's a bit smaller. Okay, so I'm going to turn on the computer, record, and see what temperatures we get. As a conclusion to the installation of these two fans, they are both extremely easy to install. There's not much more to say about them. You can see the video and you can assess for yourself which one you thought was easier, but if I was asked to choose, then it would have to be the U14S, solely because there's one less fan to put on, but that's the only reason. Yeah, it's very clearly annotated in the booklet which is provided for newbies at installing CPU coolers, but yes, they're very easy to install. Thank you for watching this video, and see the links in the description for the unboxing and review and the benchmarks, which also show the conclusion and the winner of the two coolers.